Okay, there we go. Sorry. I was getting some stuff off my screen so I could see chat clear and didn't realize we were crossing the 4 times mark. Hello. Hopefully everything is all right. We juggle through tabs and undeafen. Not that it mattered because I was alone, but it works to keep things clean. So let's swoosh. Oh, and the text box is hidden. That's easy. That helps let everybody know what we're doing. Hello! Spooky day to you, everyone. Today, the fail portrayal crew of me, apparently, will be talking about Mayakashi. Because Mayakashi was introduced in Hidden Summoners, the same pack that had Nephthys and Prank Kids. We've talked about Nephthys, we've talked about Prank Kids. I'll talk about Mayakashi because I was not sure if we had done it or not. But we have gone back in the tank, and no. We did some crossover cards with Shiranui, because we have done Shiranuis. But we have not done Mayakashi. So we're going to round out Hidden Summoners before we move on to the final set from Infinity Chasers, which is Witchcrafter. Did you get all that? Yeah. So this is going to be an interesting one. Out of Hidden Summoners, you know, I think everybody's pretty clear that Prank Kids won that one. Nephthys has some interesting gameplay and certainly can make some funny towers. And I think after Connector, I think was the second level 2 ritual they did. That one didn't come out until, like, you know, Phantom Rage and stuff. They have a decent line. Prank Kids has always been an effective engine, which Roxy's has only assisted. Mayakashi has, at least by the standards of Yu-Gi-Oh! Top Decks, never been good. Assuming their information is correct, right? A Mayakashi deck has never topped. Like, literally, they have no results if you go to Top Decks and you start typing. Oh, God. Nobody cares about this Resume Your Discovery thing, Google. Why did you add this? Nobody asked for this. Just take me back to Top Decks. They're not called that. Yes, there we go. But they're in my history. Yes, no. Spelling Mayakashi, literally from results. Yeah, no. So yeah, no decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Top Decks records involve Mayakashi. So in the TCG, they have always sucked. Well, that's not entirely true, but they've never topped. Despite this, I assume Konami would like them to top because they've actually gotten a decent amount of support out of them. Obviously, they were in a deck build pack, but Konami engineered this whole crossover thing with Shiranui. The Magnificent Maven set we got in the TCG was the TCG version of the Secret Shiny Box, which was basically like 3 archetypes that Konami thought people really liked, which was exactly Witchcrafter, Sky Striker, and Mayakashi. So, like, I don't know. In particular, I assume somebody at Konami really likes Yuki Onna because they have, like, 3 different versions of her. She is all of their Link monsters are just this one chick. I don't know. Maybe it's because she didn't already have, like, a normal synchro pair for them to worry about. Anyway, we'll talk about the theming in a second. But, yeah, despite the fact that Konami has tried pretty hard to push Mayakashi, including giving them some very good floodgate effects, we will, you know, make many jokes about. Give him a skill drain. Don't know if you guys heard me drumming on my desk or not. But, like, they've never gone anywhere competitively. Which is kind of sad, because I do think aesthetically Mayakashi has a very solid theming. The name is Mayakashi in both English and Japanese. Mayakashi in Japanese is a wordplay, of course, but the kanji they actually use is a generic term for spirits or yokai. Max, you can unmute. The timer was for 5 minutes, okay? It was 6 minutes ago. Oh, we're in recording. I thought we were in gaming. You could phrase that as, hey, you're in... You could phrase that as, hey, we're in recording, not gaming. Not
Okay,
passive-aggressive to, I hope you enjoy the solo show.
I thought you did it intentionally.
No! What I did intentionally was deaf-mute myself so I could play the background music. I thought I was in secret gaming. I deliberately was like, hold on, I need to click one of these very specifically to do the thing. No, it was recording. Okay.
I thought it was because like you've done
well,
stuff
not
like that.
somehow not that you would remember my foibles for some reason. This didn't go in your little black book about sins, but I've made this mistake before and been called out on it. Dallas said, "Hey, you're in recording. We can't go."
I took it as
yeah.
Okay, listen. I
You
thought
took
you'd
it wrong.
be
You
angry if I
just
said
told
it
me
because
what
I
you
thought it was intentional because I know people that do that stuff.
No. Anyway, lost on his phone. He'll be here eventually. His PC is starting up. I timed this very well. What I was saying, though, was Mayakashi in Japanese is one of the many terms for yokai. It's made of the kanji for evil spirit and calamity, but it's also a pun because it can mean... Well, YouTube is fucking assassin me. Not receiving enough video. Well, luckily, we're not even really showing anything big on screen, so we'll see if it loads. But it also, that is a homophone for the word for deception. So, did you get it? They're evil spirits, but also they're deceiving you.
I did want to say earlier that I think it's because, I guess why Fiona is liked a lot is that I think it has something to do with the fact that she's the starter, and also because I guess
she's not the starter.
Didn't they make like the whole girls meet girls thing before?
Yes, but also that is about well, maybe, but that's about Daki. Yuki Musume is not, or Yuki Onna is not like a big character in that lineup. That's Daki.
I thought it was the. Okay.
No, well, I'll show you very clearly. It's definitely Daki the Graceful.
Well, interesting, because Daki's also like actually your most important card.
Yes, no, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna fight you about Yuki Musume being the starter.
She's
like
their Yuki's your combo.
Their later.
Yuki is usually the first card you play with.
Yes, she's one of their big extenders, and that's why they added her, because Yuki Musume, the main deck version, is a card they added in a later set. But yeah, no, like I said, I genuinely, the only theory I have for why every single Link version is Yuki Onna, besides the fact that obviously they did probably need a Link 2 or 3. I think they might have started with the 4, but this deck did come out in MR1. Now, obviously, the way it's originally phrased, you don't actually need a Link monster because it's a very linear synchro deck. You literally would just keep climbing the same guys over and over again.
I've played the deck many times. Yeah.
Yes, no, I've also tried to make it work. Martha, I think, tried to make it work in Prague as well. And I will say this. This is why I think the deck has never been competitively good, is it has a really interesting line. It's literally the one line. You literally do a solitaire combo for, like, I don't know how long would it physically take you to, like, recycle all those guys, but, like,
10 minutes.
Yeah, it would take you several minutes of real time to actually do this combo, and then your end board is roughly the same.
It takes less time, but yeah. Aquabit is also, I feel like I've always had the issue of it really needs to have like alternative options at different levels to actually have like diversity in the combo line.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Was it's
to say this? Do you do the Mayakashi line with that fucking bone tower nonsense and do some stupid bullshit?
Yes, there is a soul-absorbing bone tower mill strat, but yeah, it's weird. Like hypothetically, the way this says is this archetype can special summon at least 28 times in a single turn. So, Bone Tower would mill 56 cards. So you can do a Bone Tower FTK if you can get all the guys on the board.
I just like Zombie Synchro.
Well, yeah, like, I will say this. I do think some of the Mayakashi cards, much like some of the Shiranuis, have ended up in Zombie Synchro soup decks, but they are a little less popular than the other Zombie Synchro monsters because I think Konami did design some of them to be a little exclusive.
They don't lock you, but they don't work unless you have each other.
Some cards do actually lock you. They have some spell traps which say you can only special summon Mayakashi from your extra deck.
Only half of them are actually good, sadly.
But some of them are just generic zombie or synchro summoning. So there's a few back and forth. But yeah, Mart says it. You can Ash the deck, you can Imperm the deck. Like, you are literally doing a linear climb with, like, one set of guys over and over again. If your opponent just DD Crows Daki, you cry. You're dead. Like,
yeah.
Under Necro Valley, you lose. You know, there's just so many ways to break this combo. And, like I said, it seems like Konami's only attempt to try and fix this is just give you floodgates so that you can stop your opponent from doing that. But that still doesn't do anything. So yeah, it's a really weird strat where they have a very distinct gameplay style. They do a very unique thing. They only do that thing. Konami has never tried to actually make them do anything different. Like you said, Axe, they've never tried to give them like an alternate, you know, level 3 Synchro or level 5 Synchro. They just keep adding more Link monsters like that will help.
Yeah.
And so they are an interesting toolbox, but they are not as flexible as cards like Shiranui, as lots of other generic zombie synchro, of which there is a lot. So they've never been really meta-wise, and like I said, it's kind of a shame because they are really interesting. They are very distinct, you know, yokai monsters. They have a very distinct theming to Japanese horror. So they're neat. They have a unique flavor. We'll run you through the line as we go. Though I've arranged this in level order, actually, funnily enough, for both main decks and extra decks, because that's kind of how this works. But it's... Chat, you're going to see, if you don't already know, the flaws of this archetype. And there are times when I feel like, I don't know who makes these decisions, but there are times when Konami makes archetypes where I feel like, I don't know, do they feel like they're contractually obligated to, like, all right, we got the artist to draw 6 guys in a theme, you know, and then 6 extra deck versions of those guys. Now we can literally never, ever add a new guy that will break our theme. I don't know.
My problem is that they could honestly just do a diversity of the levels and make alternative forms of certain characters. Because they could be the same ones, but it's like...
Well, I mean, they wouldn't... Well, other than Yuki Onna, they did that as just, like, she's just herself 3 times, but, like...
Because, like, the level 7 one, they could do different versions that have different effects, that just have the same name, but I guess different title.
Well,
but that's more of a magic thing, I guess.
No, also, no, you can't, because they would not have the same name and be the same guy. And they actually have, like, that would not work, because, like, most of their monsters can only be summoned once per turn.
So you can't do, it's like... same first name but different title, so it counts as a different card.
I mean, you could do that, but that's that already breaks
like,
the
same
naming
name
scheme.
but different title. Okay.
No, what you want is a different name, same title.
Okay.
Because like Hajun the
They
Winged becomes
names,
Tengu the
though.
Winged, and that's the level 7. You know, Daki the Graceful becomes Yoko the Graceful. Yasha the Skeletal becomes Gasha the Kuro the Skeletal, etc.
So I guess it'd be like Yoko. I guess Yoko, like Yoko the Benevolent, as an example, kind of thing.
No, that breaks the theme. You'd want a third Graceful.
Oh, okay.
Because it's Daki the Graceful becomes Yoko the Graceful. That's how the naming scheme works. Also, yes, by the way, in case you didn't know, it's very easy to tell which guy is supposed to be which guy because they're all connected by those names. Shafu the Wield becomes Oborogumo the Wield.
I've always took it as, I guess how to put it is, I've always took it as, like Neo, where it's people that turn into, or it's yokai turned into people, then back, vice versa kind of thing.
Yeah. Is that supposed to be? I could have sworn this loaded bigger. What are you doing to me? Yes, it did. It was really weird. I don't know why I copied the smaller version. Anyway, we're starting at the levels.
A bit older than I thought he'd be, but he is just,
Yeah,
he looks like just a priest wearing, he looks like a Karamo just wearing a headband.
But yeah, so this is, I said his name before, but this is Shafu, not Shafu, Hajun the Winged. Shafu's the Wield. He's the wieldy boy. He's dumb. He's literally a rickshaw. Hajin is called the Winged Mayakashi, literally Tsubasa no Mayakashi. He's dressed as a Yamabushi, a mountain aesthetic. Hajun is one of the names of the Demon King of Sixth Heaven. And then he becomes Tengu, which works, very well with the Yamabushi thing.
He's got a Karamu's horn and staff.
Yeah. Like I said, he's dressed like a Yamabushi. I don't know why they decided to call this guy Hajun. Like, go all full, Dairokuten Mao for a level 1 guy.
He's like the level 7, right?
Yes, I believe he comes level 7 as Tengu, but this is his, main deck form where he's honestly kind of unassuming.
Well, this is definitely his disguise, really, because he's...
Well, yeah, but then he becomes Tengu.
Most of them are also smaller anyway, because they're meant to be zero levels.
Yeah. Well, and you're supposed to climb. Most of their axis is based around odd numbers around Daki specifically.
It's like a 1,
We'll get into it.
There's like a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 5. And a 6.
Yeah, no, they stop at 5. Oh, there's a couple ones, though. I think there's a couple 2s or 3s. No, I think one of them, Shafu, is... Because the non-tuners go 2, 3. Anyway, it works out, chat. You'll figure it out in a second. Don't have much else to say about Hajun. I agree with Axe. I was kind of surprised with how old he looks. He's got some extra lines on his face, but he's a Yamabushi. That's
I think the
pretty
idea
typical
is
for
like,
a yokai type deck.
I'm gonna keep guessing, and now the weird thing of being like, are these yokai that turn to people or people that turn to yokai? Because there's a weird cultural overlap between mountain aesthetics and Tengu.
Well, yeah, the idea is if you stay in the mountains,
some cultures that are one and the same.
The best guess we can piece together from the Master Guide lore is that the Mayakashi are people who are armed with yokai magic, or possibly they are yokai with powerful magic, but they can only use their power at night, so they are attempting to eliminate the day, and that's why they fight the Shiranui.
That sounds like a 90s anime thing of basically like the evil,
yes, absolutely.
Or basically the yokai secret yokai order of people hidden during the day.
Yeah,
that,
so I think I'm the way they phrase this
I now
is
understand
weird.
the Ghost Beast girl thing now, because it now becomes basically during the day she makes friends, and during the enemy there's enemy.
It's a little weird, yeah. So their night forms, which is their synchro forms, are supposed to be their true forms, and they have human forms during the day when they can't use their magic. So it's a little. The translation is phrased a little odd, but yeah.
Have you ever what Neo games have you played, or have you at least seen them?
I played a.
Do you know what? Because I think about the thing about in Neo.
I mean, I've seen Lucky play a decent amount of 2. I understand. You have normal people and then they become yokai bosses, so you can have Dark Souls bosses.
You know what Amrita is in Neo?
Not in Neo, no, but I know what Amrita is.
In Neo, it's basically like crystallized soul. It's like soul crystals. Basically, people can eat it and turn it into monsters.
Okay.
Or use it to.
I mean, they don't eat crystals. They just become monsters at night. They have access to powerful yokai magic.
All that doesn't matter. This guy has the magic conch.
He does have the talking conch.
Oh,
though I do want to say, funnily enough, it's a little weird, but so the Shiranui Link. Skill Saga Supremacy. Canonically, she becomes that way because she, no, I was gonna say held hands, but that's not actually what's in Ghost Meets Girl. She touched Daki's hair, so now she has access to yokai magic. That's why she's a Link now.
Huh.
So the ghost touched and like the person with divine blood to, I guess, become something.
No,
Well, she's not a ghost. She's that's Squire. She's a channeler. They're all humans.
He's
Well,
a normal
okay, Daki's in
human who gained ghost
disguise.
powers.
Yeah, Skill Saga Supremacy is she's using her ghost powers and her yokai powers that she acquired through friendship.
She's a supremacy.
Yes, Skill Saga Supremacy. Which makes sense because she's got 2 colored blades in that mode. Anyway, we'll talk about that later when we talk about some Ghost Meets Girl stuff. But she still, is fighting my Yuki Onna, and I don't know why. The story ends on a cliffhanger, so anyway.
It makes you think of the dumb thing of Yuki Onna has transcended into becoming a demigod, so she's just go kill her, I guess.
I don't know. You're adding a lot of extra stuff that has nothing to do with
she
the
became
words that I'm saying.
4. She became extra powerful, so you know.
You're adding needless things.
But I want to say, Architect, you're already correct because I did say that Hajun is one of the names of the Demon King of Sixth Heaven. And also some of the Shiranui synchros are definitely feel like in the, Nobunaga's Ambition art style type stuff. So we're already there. Anyway, Hajun is a wind zombie. These guys are all zombies. This is a decision I respect by Konami, where at one point they're, in the GX manga specifically, instead of his stupid element deck, they're never going to give us Fire Dragon. Bastion used yokai monsters. When Konami translated these to the card game, rather than add a new type that would have just been Zombie 2, they made them all zombies, and I think, honestly, this is the case where the game's better for it. There's a long history of zombie pile decks, I think, working out. Not to say that they couldn't do that, but I think new types tend to have a little more... Also, yes, chat, insert your own new type, jingle there. But new card types and monster types definitely can have a more distinct identity. Like, Illusion is definitely very much retro aesthetics. Like, literally, they summoned up some old, video game exclusive cards and stuff like that. But much like the original run of Psychics, has a very strong theme with this monster can't destroy monsters by battle or be destroyed by battle, etc. So, like, they've got some funny stuff going on. But Hajun is a wind zombie. He is level 1. He has 600 attack, 400 defense. If this card is normaled or specialed, special Mayakashi from your deck except Hajun. You only use this effect once per turn. You can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except Mayakashi monsters. So, yes, this is their first archetype lock. And honestly, you can see, I think, why this archetype did not take off right away, because this is arguably a bad normal. Because he locks you into the Mayakashi line. He doesn't let you do any of the other zombie synchro stuff. He is very good normally, because this is how you instantly get to your tuner from the deck. But yeah, the fact that you're locked to the Mayakashi line makes it really telegraphed and easy to break. Like, you probably still run Hajun if you were running a Mayakashi deck, but you would probably try and find other guys. To this end, we talked about her a little before, but Yuki Musume, which is just another name for Yuki Onna, by the way. This is just, Snow Child rather than Snow Woman.
Ice Girl.
Yeah. Snow Chick. She's just a small girl in an ice-themed kimono. You've got it. There it is. That's all you need to know.
Why'd you get, like, the divine mirror symbol?
Because they have a mirror for their yokai. Have you... Well, actually, I suppose I shouldn't say have you never looked up close. Most of these cards are printed in secret rare, so we couldn't see shit.
I didn't see... Listen, I'm used to it being more
Daki,
like
and I think her synchro
320.
form
I'm
have a
used
big
to it being
mirror.
like 320 by like 680,
Yeah, no, that's fair. I was about to call you out that I was like, wait, I've opened Hidden Summoners. I own these cards. They're all secrets or supers. You can't see shit. Yes,
Yeah.
no, I believe that both Daki and her synchro form Yoko have a mirror. And she's, despite the fact that she's not their biggest monster, she is supposed to be their boss. She is the one with the most powerful magic.
Isn't that most biggest monster like? No,
Yeah,
we'll
Gasha
get
the
to
Kodo
that.
is the biggest, which makes sense.
Yeah,
That's-
he also interacts with like the...
that guy radiates final boss energy. Gasha no Kuro is very
You've
scary.
defeated me, but here's my strongest minion that we were summoning this whole time.
So, not much to say about Yuki Musume visually, but card-wise, you're going to tell she was added later in Dark Neostorm.
She looks like
as the
she'd be
extra
right at
support.
home with Ass Blossom and all that nonsense.
Yes. Oh, though, hey, they premiered a new card in the, Underroot series. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries has been experiencing a glow-up. I think I retweeted a tweet that phrased it best. From baby girl to mommy. Because, she's literally been growing up as they do new trap cards, and, she is reaching, full-blown, girl boss levels in the latest card. I might pull that up on stream. Yeah, I'm sure Martha's probably linked it in, Trad Games before? Or somebody might have yeah, it's Varen got it earlier in, Yu-Gi Organization. You can check it out.
Oh,
Yeah, that new card, Terrors of the
That's
Netherroot.
her?
Yeah, no, because it's a root card. So that's her. That's Ghost Reaper. Like I said, she's getting juiced. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that card
can't wait
just
for
yet.
the artists to have Ass ass blossom looking at her, still in her child form, looking at her, going, "Why? Why can't it be
funny.
me?"
But Yuki Musume is a water zombie level 1, 0 attack, 1900 defense. It's like Konami realized that this archetype had some problems with their stat lines. If you control a Mayakashi card other than Yuki Musume while this card is in your hand or graveyard, special this card, send a zombie monster from your deck to your graveyard. You only use this effect once per turn. You can't special summon from the extra deck except Mayakashi monsters. So, Yuki Musume is another one of your extenders. She does also archetype lock you, but she lets you send zombie monsters from your deck to your graveyard, and she doesn't banish herself when she leaves the field.
Mm-hmm.
And is a free summon from graveyard, so this card is very good. I would arguably run, 3 of this over 3 of, what's-his-face, Hadron, because she's summoned from hand or graveyard and lets you foolish a zombie.
You want this card to constantly be being special summoned to the field.
Yes. You absolutely want to special summon her, like, every opportunity you get, which is admittedly only, it's a hard once per turn, but still, once per turn you get to summon a free monster and foolish a zombie. That's great. Also, obviously, because she becomes the Link version, it gives you Link materials really easily as well. It's an interesting one. I think Mayakashi in our Prague series never won because that was the time when we had like 3 copies of Called By.
Mm-hmm.
Called By also, by the way, much like DD Crow, absolutely stops this deck cold.
I think, yeah, the one problem is it's like, it's a pet deck that will never ever be more than a pet deck. That's just how, like,
I mean, Konami could.
It also dies to turn 1 shifter.
Yes, D-Shifter unfortunately kills a lot of pet decks. A lot of locals legends.
Confirming things.
Yeah, he's got 3 Called By in his own Mayakashi deck. We know what's up. I mean, he's got the Burial from a different dimension to recycle in there, but yeah, no. Konami could, like, completely unholster this deck. They've done it before, but they haven't for some reason. And I guess it's because they know that Zombie
honestly,
Synchro is already really good.
They need I feel like they could use a Mayakashi card or like a zombie card that basically makes it where zombie cards can trigger our graveyard effects in the banner zone.
Oh, that would be pretty rad.
Oh,
I think the main thing Mayakashi itself needs is it just needs, like you said, more monsters in their extra deck because a lot of their good shit hard locks you. Anyway, this is I
still think you need more than just Daki as your line extender.
Well, no, they probably could use an alternate tuner as well. Because like I said, this deck dies really hard if you negate Daki, who is here. This is Daki. It's her. She is the boss. She's a very pretty and elegant lady.
She's a Kitsune who's also a priestess.
Yeah,
Look at you have the smoky tails.
Yeah, I like that she's got the ghost tail so you can tell the tail. Well, no, she's Lady Daji. I mean, that's technically the same thing, but yeah. Her name, Daki, references,
enough,
Lady Daji. But that's still like... Lucky and I have talked about this in Let's Talk FGO. Actual factual, artist and writer Hokusai conflated the mythology of Tamamo no Mai with with Lady Daji and other steps, so it's kind of related but not exactly related. But yeah, I do like we said, there's the subtle ghostly tails behind her. Her hair forms like little fox ears, but they're not really ears. She does have the mirror, as we said, and the priestess robes. So all in all, very elegant. But this card is your dedicated starter. You require this card to make this deck work.
Yeah.
She is a fire zombie tuner, level 2. By the way, actually, I would say it's kind of funny that Mayakashi isn't better because this is a deck that you can play through Bestials because they don't have very many darks and have no lights. So it's actually kind of funny that way. But anyway, Daki is a level 2 zombie tuner. She has 1,000 attack, 0 defense. You can only control 1 Daki the Graceful Mayakashi, so that means you can only have 1 on the field at a time. When a Mayakashi monster is special summoned to your field from the extra deck while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card. You can't special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn you activate this effect except Mayakashi's. So she also locks you into place when you use her bounce effect, though until that point she is a generic zombie tuner. And once again, notice much like Yuki Onna, she never banishes herself, And it's whenever you summon a Mayakashi monster from your extra deck. So, Daki also lets you link climb. It took them a while to give you multiple links you could actually climb through. You know, the 2, the 3, and the 4. But it's all there. So, this is basically the line this deck works on, chat. You hopefully get Daki on the field, and you Synchro Summon her away. Once you've done that, she immediately comes back from the graveyard. You get to Synchro again, 2 levels higher. She immediately comes back, and you do this until you run out of Mayakashi monsters to summon because she extra deck locks you. She is a fire. She is a zombie tuner. She has, 0 defense, if that helps. She is a zombie, which means you can set up all kinds of shit with other zombie graveyard plays. And basically, she is the entire archetype, which, again, is unfortunate because it's very easy for your opponent to know what card they have to tell you to fucking kill. They did try and give them a second tuner, but if I remember rightly... Oh, no, okay, they started with a second tuner. It's just that he's not as cool. This is... what do you call it? Tsukahagi, the Poisonous Mayakashi. So this name is... it's a funny pun. So this requires me to give you guys a little bit of backstory explanation. The name comes from Yatsukahagi. This was a term that originally was used to refer to basically renegade clans and bandits.
He's a manhunter.
Later became associated with the mythology of the Tsuchigumo, the earth spider, which is a spider yokai. So, I think that... I don't know how they, turned stories of normal bandits and men into monsters, but, this guy is, a bandito or a Ronin who is also a spider.
Honestly, Omega, I see it as the idea of being ambushed and kidnapped and trapped kind of stuff.
Yeah, I guess that could work, because Tsuchigumo do have, the yokai has, kidnapping narratives as well. So, yeah, I guess that
because
probably...
he's got, a lasso, he's got, the spider thing that's, it's more... I guess it's more of a period... For the period they're aiming for, it's a more period-accurate comparison to then, instead of being, the crying spider wife.
Yeah, and
that's
for a fact that
not Tsuchigumo.
in that time period, they probably would have preferred to be, known as a giant spider demon instead of a bandit, because then it's people won't fuck with us if they think we're a giant spider demon.
Yeah.
If they think we're bandits, people will send
cops will
dogs
come to
and the
kill
army.
us,
Yeah.
Some Ronin will get paid to kill us.
Yeah, but if I don't know, people think we're some crazy demon.
Also, hey, by the way, perfectly alternate for your level 2 slot, because those guys I think are all tuners, actually.
Right.
Unless the wheel guy is not. I don't remember. I'll check it. I mean, the wheel guy's not level 2.
I thought it was a Jun and Taki, honestly.
But you know what we could use? Make a Jorogumo. Make Spider Wife. Thank you. This has been brought to you by Monster Fuckers International. Your card is already in the mail. But Tsukahagi is not as cool as Daki, unfortunately. He is an Earth Zombie tuner. He has 0 attack and 2k defense. So, again, they do some interesting stuff with the stat lines. And I think the 0 attack in zombies, the 0 stat line in zombies, I think has some weird interactions here and there. And I think, actually, aren't there cards to search tuners that are, under 1500 attack or something as well?
Sorry, dumb idea, because you mentioned Jiragumo. She should just be the demure wife of this guy.
Yeah, that could be cute.
He's the one pulling all the strings.
So, you can only control one Tsukahagi. If a Mayakashi monster in possession except Tsukahagi is destroyed by battle or card effect while it's in the graveyard, special summon him back. You can't special summon the extra deck the turn you activate this Mayakashi. So yeah, Tsukahagi sucks. He's a cute recovery tool, but I believe most of your extra deck guys already float when popped, right? That's their main thing, is they float back down. So I guess the idea is that you could use him instead of Daki to start synchro climbing back up, but you can already do that because Daki fetches herself when you special summon a guy from your extra deck. So he's kind of redundant, And I assume that's why he's literally never been reprinted. Like, Hadjun got reprinted in Magnificent Mavens. This guy did not. Even Konami's like, yeah, this guy's not that good. So, he's in a weird spot where I see what they're going for, but it just doesn't do enough that's different. This card art's a lot weirder than I remember. Yeah, no, this guy is a 3. I mean, I guess you want all odds for their non-synchros because your tuners are 2, but still, like, there's some opportunity for some weird shit in here. So, this is Shafu, the Wheeled Mayakashi.
He's being nice until he, like, kicks you to hell.
Yeah, it's like a ghost rickshaw. Which, of course, like, haunted cabs are a thing.
Or he's doing the thing of, I guess he's guiding like, lost souls, I guess.
He could be a second.
No. Don't you see? He's doing that typical anime thing. His eyes are closed, he's all smiles until he opens his eyes, in which case he looks fully evil.
Well, we'll see what he transforms into, because, like I said, all these guys have an extra deck form.
Yep.
But yeah,
Also, thanks for pointing that out, Omega. I actually did not know that about Mayakashi.
oh yeah, sorry, you got here a little later. Yes. No, when we get to the synchros, I will deliberately do all I will remind you which one is supposed to be which, because they all have the same subtitles. There is a synchro version that is the Wheeled Mayakashi, you know.
I guess that's where never.
Also, this guy's name is Shafu, literally means coachman, so this is the coachman Mayakashi. Yeah. Also, yes, this guy's very important. This is a level 3 Earth Zombie, 1200 attack, 400 defense.
I remember never drawing him.
Yeah, which is sad, because he's important. He is one of your normals.
Yeah.
If this card is normal or special, target a Mayakashi in your graveyard except Shafu, special summon a defense position, but negate its effects. You can only use this effect of Shafu once per turn. You can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except Mayakashi. Note that last effect is a continuous effect, not a blanket effect, so once Shafu's off the board, you can do other stuff. But yeah, I think in general, I forgot how many of these monsters hard lock you to Mayakashi in the extra. I think this is why this deck has never been good.
It's besides it being its interactions, just kill it.
Like what? Yes, it's very easy to know exactly where to kill this deck, and then all of your main deck monsters lock you into Mayakashis. The Mayakashi synchros themselves are generic, and you could probably play a few of them in a zombie synchro deck if you want.
I think they're all mostly good, actually, is the thing.
Yeah, I think most of them are decent. The problem is that the main deck engine to get to them means you can't go into any of your other zombie synchro tools, which sucks. Especially because, as noted by that like semi-crossover with Shiranui, Shiranuis are also generic synchro monsters, and I think if they lock you, they mostly lock you to zombie synchro.
Nah, fuck it. Just give us Red Eyes Mayakashi.
You know,
that'd be funny.
Considering they made an illusion type, I kind of wish they just made a yokai type and then just reclassified certain monsters as yokai types and then just yokai
I think the problem would just be that like Konami doesn't want to do mass erratas because that would mean they would have to reprint a lot of.
Well, I think
cards.
then they make just Neo Mayakashi and Nero Shuni and just make it like modern day shit.
They could try and out some stuff. I wouldn't be averse, but they still need to kind of. They need to flesh out Illusion. Though, obviously, the Illusion cards we have so far are pretty good. Chimera is going to be at least a rogue deck, if not, like, a meta contender.
It's like, how old is Worm as a type?
Ooh, Worm is, like, that's early Link era, I think.
It's like
Was
6
it late Pendulum?
6 years?
Yeah, Yangzings are all worms. It's like late Pendulum. So, yeah, no, you're looking at over 5 years now, like 6 or 7, maybe
Okay,
8.
the point is, it's like, they've added new types occasionally. So I think it's nothing wrong with making Zombie 2, essentially. Because, like, they have Spellcaster 2.
Well, like I said, Illusionist seems like it's more of a callback to the classic days because some of them are Spellcaster 2, but then some of them are like shit like Chimera, right? Which are all, mythical beasts.
Actually,
Coatl Soldier is like a snake guy. Like they're all like harkening back to that old school illusory, back when we were spooky. Yangzing.
I feel like yokai would work because there's a bunch of stuff that would just fit in.
I mean, it would work, and they have an establishment for it. I guess the question is if Konami really wants to crack zombie like that, because I think now the fact that zombie support exists makes zombie good. So it's one of those things. But I won't say that Konami missed their opportunity back in the GX era because they really haven't. They can just print whatever. No, anyway, what the Shaftster does is good. Does require you to have cards in the graveyard, but again, you're playing a zombie deck, so that's not that hard. We're going to talk about their last guy. This guy I'm pretty sure is bad.
I remember having him, but he's not great.
Yeah. It's Yasha. Yasha has also never been reprinted. This is Yasha,
Oh, wow.
the skeletal Mayakashi. He's also kind of dressed like a Yambushi mountain man.
God, his bet is. I'm used to him having who Iris is, but God, his skull is so fucking thick.
But yeah, no, I mean it's because he's secretly a skeleton. Inside of you right now, there's a skeleton trying to get out.
Oh,
He does look like a
God.
Really
giant
mentioned
skeleton. He does look like a mutated skeleton. Just
Yeah. So we're by the way, also Yang Zing was in Duelist Alliance, so they're literally like 8 years old.
Axe beat me to it. He does look like just a skeleton wearing a flesh suit.
Yeah, and I think that's the point, obviously. But yeah, he's named for obviously a yaksha, a type of spirit in Buddhism.
Yeah.
Hence why he has like a evil Buddhist rosary.
Oh, that's another wicked dude. That's so true. Like the mummified monk.
Ooh, yeah, that would be pretty cool. We can do some stuff with that. But yeah, I don't think there's much else to say other than the fact that, like, I mean, I appreciate his, like, menacing energy, but also, like, God, his jaw is so squared and his skull is so thick. Like,
It's
God.
It's unnervingly weird.
this, I mean no
If I-
ill will by this. This man is,
I will
like,
say this.
literally a monster of the week from Inuyasha.
I was gonna also say that like he's good as a design as the fact that he's meant to be like an obvious unnerving weirdo that's obviously a demon.
Yeah, like this guy is clearly a bad guy, and also, like I said, this is literally an Inuyasha monster of the
He's
week.
a bad guy, or he's like this weird like twisted guy that guides lost souls
I mean,
away.
I think if he turns into a giant skeleton, I think we can say he's a bad guy. Anyway, Yasha,
Okay,
the
yes,
skeletal Mayakashi, is a dark zombie. Yes, he's the first one of these that's actually dark. He's level 5. He's 2k attack, 0 defense. You can discard one other Mayakashi monster, special summon this card. You can only use this effect of Yash once per turn. You can't special summon for the extra deck except Mayakashis continuously. So, similar to, Shafu, yes, the coachman. It's a continuous effect, so once he's off the board, you can go into other things, like if you're link climbing or synchroing. But, like, you know what's better than, like, having a 5-star monster that can special summon itself for a discard? Just having more monsters you can normal summon. Like, I get what they're going for, and some of their cards do like graveyard support. Like, you could set up a, like a Daki or a Tsukahaishi in graveyard, but it would be a lot better if this guy was just like a cyber dragon. Like, if you control no monsters, your opponent controls more monsters than you can special them rather than the discard. Especially specifically of a Mayakashi monster, because otherwise this guy feels like he's such a brick.
They
Like,
should have made it where you can mill a Mayakashi monster from deck.
oh god, if you could send from deck, that would be
I
good.
feel like I
actually,
feel
yeah,
like spitting
that'd be
if it's only Mayakashi.
great. Like that.
Only
that would be
Mayakashi
useful.
monsters. Or because it should not be a card. It should be Mayakashi monsters because you actually don't want to pitch your spell traps.
A few of your graveyards do have banish effects, but yeah, generally not.
Usually you want them to be continuous. So I think if it was a pitch where basically you can use the pitch jockey off of it or pitch Yukiona or something else, it's actually a good way to be like
that would actually
brick.
like
It'd
give you
actually be a good
advantage
starter.
and be
Alternative
good.
starter.
Yes. Unfortunately, this guy is just from hand, and again, usually you would probably be normaling or specialing from hand.
Problem is actually I think it'd be too good because then you just run a package of him and then Daki.
Well, remember, both
yeah.
of those lock you to Mayakashi monsters for
Okay,
the
never mind
extra,
then.
so I think that would be reasonable. It would help the deck out pure. All right, let's talk about the extra deck. So this is our first gun. This is Oburogurama, the wheeled Mayakashi.
I just noticed that the head on top of the cart that was in the previous version but open
Yeah.
and like holding it open. So like that's fun.
So this is Shafu, who is the wheeled Mayakashi's true form. It's named after Oburoguruma, which is a yokai of a ghostly ox cart. Pretty typical stuff. That said, I do like this. You know, the ox cart, the flaming lanterns, the flaming wheels.
It's obvious the
Yeah.
card evolved.
Yeah.
It is.
And now it's just got a demon face on it, and it's self-propelled. It's fairly
Very
rad.
The
much
hair
what
I
you'd
think
see
matches
at
the
a-
colors of the cards.
Yes, I think so. Sorry, Loth, what were you saying?
Very much what you'd see at, like, say, for instance, was it the Parade of Demons or whatever?
Also, I mean, not exactly, but like this is an Okami enemy. This is a guy who would be in the. I'm kind of surprised we haven't run into this as like an attack in the Four Lords trials we've been doing like off stream.
Probably Ghost
You
War
know,
Tokyo.
like. Yeah, actually, also there are some fucking creepy guys in Ghost
You've
War.
got the infamous ones, but you don't really deal with that much yokai. except-
I mean, they threw the flaming wheels at us, Loth. Just the
yeah,
wheel
but those are
boys,
like kind of a
Okay,
pinnacle.
look, those guys had the funniest fucking lines.
though. Oh no,
Welcome
that
to
trial
die.
is very funny. I'm a little sad we didn't get it on air, but it was
Welcome
good.
again to die.
Boom, boom, yes.
Oh, that was fucking stupid. Also,
Those
yeah,
guys,
Mega,
they had so much fun beating them up.
I was a day late to it, but like, when we were fighting Seiryu, I was like, yeah, here's Snake Rain. This is what this is.
It is actually. It did actually rain snakes. All right, so Oboro-Guruma is their Sync 3, which actually puts it in a very interesting position. It's an Earth zombie synchro. It's got 800 attack, 2100 defense, so normally you're putting this in defense. So, it's completely generic, one tuner, one or more non-tuners. You can only control one Oboro-Guruma. You can activate the effects once per turn. If a synchro monster in your possession whose original level of 5 is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect while this card's in your graveyard, you can banish one of their zombies from the graveyard if you do special on this card. Okay, so I was wrong. Yes. All right, so that's why Tsuruhashi exists. Daki doesn't float into these guys because they come back from the graveyard. That's right. That said, if you can recycle Daki, you can use the link combo to set it up so you can synchro again. That's how the Soul Absorbing Bone Tower strat works. But yeah, so basically, if you have a level 5 synchro that's destroyed, period, you can banish a zombie monster. This card comes back. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, activate this effect. During this turn, your monsters can't be destroyed by battle. So, Guruma's okay. He's very obviously like the start and the end of the line, right? So, he basically, I think, only exists as either your cute starter or, like, literally your last line of defense. You know? So he's not super impressive. But it is interesting that he is a zombie synchro that is a completely generic level 3. There are probably uses for that.
You know, Mega, it reminds me of the thing you always used to say. This deck is very much the conga line of big assholes, and then also the boss rush lineup.
Yeah.
Essentially.
That, like, unless your opponent locks you out of your graveyard somehow, to actually beat Mayakashi if they do their full combo, you will have to beat up a lot of men, which can actually be problematic. And like I said...
Or just banish them, which is unfortunate.
Well, yeah, like you said, Macrocosmos. Again, if you Necro Valley them so they can't get out of the graveyard.
Again,
there's,
I just want that. I just want that card that makes it where like Mayakashi's at least, or Mayakashi and Tsurunoe when banished still can use the graveyard effects.
Yeah, if this card is, you know...
If this card would be banished itself as cost, or banished as for,
Yeah, if
an effect,
a
move it to
Shiranui or
graveyard instead.
Mayakashi card says that it would be... that is banished, would activate its effect to banish itself, you know, shuffle it back into your deck instead. That actually has a cost because now they're no longer in your graveyard, but it would let you actually fucking use them.
Yeah,
Konami
well,
probably
you
won't
usually
do
use them,
that
so
because I personally think that somebody at Konami's game design team enjoys that cards like Macro and D-Shifter turn off certain decks. They like the appeal of the rock, paper, scissors, but God, I hate non-games.
It's like
I
guess
hate
eventually we
flipping a
all gotta
floodgate or
use,
activating
like,
a hand
the
trap
iron
and
wall,
then
I
just
guess.
you have to fucking... you're dead. We go game 2.
Welcome, nice game. Hope you have fun. By the way, stop playing the game.
Yes, good luck, have fun. Stand by face D-Shifter? Anyway, this is Tsuchigumo, the Poisonous Mayakashi. He's definitely looking more Tsuchigumo-y.
I duel them, I summon 2 El Shadow Winder. They surrender. Repeat the cycle.
So yeah,
Sorry.
this guy... I mean, he's a Tsuchigumo, yeah. He's a spidery boy. I appreciate it.
I appreciate the ninja samurai aesthetic for this.
Yeah, he's armored up.
this.
That's cool. I do think he has too few legs. Though the silhouette may have only had 6 legs, but he's only got 4 spider legs and then 2 normal hands. But I guess
I think
he's
it's
a
meant to be
yokai,
8
so-
appendages.
I think actually it's probably due. It looks like he's got 5 spider legs.
The joints are a
Like,
little
if
weird.
you
He
look on the
might
left-
have 6 on
No,
his
I
lower
think
body?
it's just one of the legs is being hidden by the other one by the angle.
Okay, yeah, no. Okay, you can see that
You're, like, vaguely
he's got a one is in the foreground here, and then one is in the background here.
And then
So
one's,
there's
like,
a
masked by
there's
the-
a
and
third
there's
leg
one
on his other side that is completely hidden from view, or the artist forgot to
Yeah.
draw it. I never
No,
caught
it's
it.
it's like vaguely there, but it's not that shown. You can vaguely see it, like in between the other two legs.
Well, I mean, you can see the joints, but the problem is that it doesn't like. There's one line for here in the background. There's one line for here in the foreground. I don't think it
Again,
lines
this
up.
is the. So I'm not sure if anyone ever watched it. This is the kind of enemy you'd see show up in the Power Rangers, Samurai, or Ninja.
I was
series.
thinking this
Totally.
would be a cool Neo enemy.
Also
that
true.
too.
This
So
is a cool
this is,
anyway, because he
this is
probably
their
pick up a
Sync
spear.
God,
5.
that'd be annoying. A Spider Ninja. Oh.
This is the Sync 5, by the way.
It'd be
This
like a
is
samurai,
usually
you'd
the
have,
first
like,
one you
a-
go into. You need very specific cards to actually go into Oboroguma. He's another Earth. He's level 5, Zombie Synchro. 2,000 attack, 1,800 defense, completely generic again. You can only control one Tsuchigumo. You can use each of these effects once per turn. If a Synchro monster level 7 is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect while this card's in the graveyard, banish another zombie to special summon it. And if this card's special summoned from the graveyard, you can have each player send 3 from the cards from their deck to the graveyard. That's right, he mills 3. He even helps you do the soul-absorbing Bone Tower. Also, in general, zombie decks love this, and there's definitely some jokes to be made about Agido here. But yeah, he is a miller. Honestly, just in general, getting this guy in your graveyard as like a generic zombie Sync 5 and then summoning him back because you could just do that to do some milling, probably a good idea. Like, that's just cute. And in fact, I'm pretty sure Tsuchigumo has made it into a few extra decks for zombie Sync stuff. But yeah, very solid card. All right. I'm going to pull up the card art for this next guy. I'm feeling a little parched. I've already drank like an entire bottle of water while we're sitting here for only like an hour. So I'm going to take a pause real
Damn,
quick.
and I'm the one who's in hot weather.
Yeah, I got my window open, but it's been a little stuffy today. So I'll pull up our next guy. I'll leave
So apologies to anyone if you hear my fan.
no.
Axe and Loth with Tengu, the Winged Mayakashi, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, please deafen and mute and so they don't hear us.
Uh-huh. I kind of
Taking
like
it
the...
out my racial slurs.
Okay, listen. Just don't.
But
But,
I'm joking.
I know. But, so, I don't actually like the Tengu design that much. It's like green and purple, which is like, okay, I guess. The green's okay. I like that the head of the staff became like a energy chakram now, and like the conch is doing stuff. But like, it doesn't click for me.
I mean, he's flashy, and I associate that a little bit with Tengu somewhat. So I
I've
can
been
understand the green and purple.
I've been
But-
used to like blue and white Karamas and like black and gray Karasus.
I also I noticed that he's got like a big ass nose, but he looks more like a wolf man.
I mean, that's just a Tengu mask, but yeah, the hair. Tengu usually have like more, don't really have hair, oddly enough, in that kind of way.
Yeah, he just looks like just at a glance, a wolf man with wings.
Also, look how he's holding that chakram, or like, holding the spear, like the I guess the staff head.
It is a very interesting way he's holding it, because he is holding it with
It's like
his
it's gonna
teeth.
launch the chakrams or something, like launch the rings.
It looks like he's meant to squeeze it and it's meant to fire like an arrow or something.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like some weird kind of like hand crossbow.
Okay.
He's got
I
like
mean-
weird dots. Actually, those are just like the the spots where the binding for the sandals are. He's got like.
I wish you could
demonic
say
feet.
I like this card, but I don't.
I don't
like the
either
look of
because
this
it
guy.
just like it's not really bird-like besides the wings. It's more demonic.
Well,
Like,
I
it's
mean,
actually
he's got a
like
big
an
long
evil
nose.
Tengu. I mean, no, but it's more like a mask than anything else.
You can't even really see the nose unless you squint.
Well, yeah,
at a
the
glance,
angle's a
he
little
just-
weird.
I just don't like the feet either because it's not like there's no like bird talons. It's just like only feet.
I mean,
This is a guy who says he's a Tengu, but is actually not.
It's just a winged oni.
It's just like a paladin trying to tell you that they're a magic caster. That's right. I'm calling you out. I'm expecting myself to be definite.
Stabbing all the half casters in the world.
I mean, just like, Google searching the like most common, Tengu appearances. They're not. You guys may be spoiled by exactly a thing called SMT, but there's a wide variety of depictions of Tengu. I think this is actually an SMTR where he's just got normal shoes on. Like, that. Many of them are
Don't put
bird-like,
me in the
but
same
some.
class as Axe.
God damn it, Loth. Don't do this to me.
But like,
I'll throw you under the bus to save myself.
Fine, I'll throw you too. Don't with me. You're going to
they're
switch together.
throwing
You
each other.
shall go together. Thanks, Zemnis. Sorry to interrupt you there.
It's
Omega.
just like some of the memes from the Fan Fest. One of you has the AoE tank buster and chases the other off the ledge.
It's like, let's take ibuprofen together, Loth.
What was that one thing I saw Yoshipiko rescued, and it's just like fake patch note to rescue has been disabled.
Yeah, I think technically he actually did like a gap closer to an ally, but yeah, no.
Yeah, he got doubled.
he was trying to dodge because Sakaguchi, the father of Final Fantasy, tried to wipe the party on stage at FanFest. He's only been a Warrior of Light for 2 years, by the way.
He's having fun.
Anyway, yeah,
How
this
long
is
has that been
Tengu. I mean, he is a Tengu, but you are right in that he's not. He's definitely not a Karasu Tengu. He is just kind of like a weird.
It's not even a
evil mountain
Kurama.
man.
It's just like it's just like a different kind. It's not
No,
even a
Karasu.
Kurama. I'm talking about the Kurama because the Kurama is the one to have the conch.
Okay.
Either Crow Tengu works either way. He is definitely not a Crow Tengu. This is a very,
oh my god,
like I said, old man. of the
I didn't
mountain.
even notice the conch. Like,
Yeah, the
that's how
conch is
weird
also
I can-
doing like his shield, and then he's got like his staff like a chakram, but also I think it's up his sleeve, so it's a staff. Listen, this guy's got a lot of issues, I think, with his weirdness.
Like they
Um,
put effort to his clothing, but I don't think anything else really had that much
like-
effort put into it.
And the
I'm so
unfortunate
slightly
part,
upset about what Omega said. I just don't like the way this guy looks. He could be a Tengu, but yeah.
I mean, no, I think he's got a little bit of a muddled design. It's a little odd.
It's more in like '90s enemy Tengu.
But like,
So here's a giant 90s enemy Tengu.
so, he's their level 7. He is a wind zombie synchro, 2600 attack, 1500 again, completely generic one tuner or one or more non-tuner monsters. You can control one Tengu. If a synchro summon monster whose level is 9, you can banish a zombie from your graveyard to summon this card. And if this card is special summoned from your graveyard, pop one spell trap. Perfectly normal. I mean, he's for a level 7, he's got good stats at 2600. So like, you know, they're trying, but I don't think he's their best design. And presumably, if you've gone down the line a couple of times, like I don't know what having gone from your synchro summon all the way back up to your 11, and then having gone down to your 7, gone through like 2 guys. What is popping an opponent's opponent's spell trap gonna do? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
It's like if it's already that fuckled, it's like, well,
it's a little weird. So this is their 9. This is Yoko, the Graceful Mayakashi. Yoko, with a long O, is like basically, you know, it's a level 9. He's a 9-tailed fox. This is the upgraded version of Daki. The name they use for this is apparently the way that the Japanese language writes down. What is the Korean word? Is it? Yeah, or is it the Chinese word? Let me double check which one it was. Yeah, it's the Chinese form of Hulijing, which is their word for fox spirit. Has a slightly different mythology than Kitsune fox spirits, but similar concept.
I like how fucking devious, but like, true, like confident they are. It's like they're like they are 9 tails, right? Or they're 7 tails.
Yeah, she's got 9 tails. And definitely like
She's like full fox face,
she's
like-
still the graceful Mayakashi, right? So like they're trying, they're giving her the grace and the weight of it.
She's like very like regal looking, and it's like she's obviously summoning all the other souls from the mirror.
Also, she's currently doing a gaze attack. Everybody look away.
no.
Or she's doing an ad phase. She's summoning
I
ads.
fucking hate gaze mechanics.
I mean, it's a big eyeball. It's definitely a gaze.
I remember freaking a Neo X Def where it's like you gotta look, but you gotta like hug, but look away. It's like-
Yeah.
I just remember that for some
It's
reason.
it's funny now that we've got Omega into 14, so now you can bring these jokes to us instead of vice versa.
Yeah. And some people in the audience will get it. So, yeah, Yoko is a fire zombie, level 9, 2900 attack, 2400 defense, so pretty alright stats. I think that's a little better than Trish, so, you know, decent.
I have a meme for
I'm
this.
sorry, I just realized this card's got a little... Her text is written very weirdly. It says her materials, and then there's a slash to say that you can only control one, and you can only use each of these effects once per turn. I think it's because she's got two bulleted effects under, and they had to find the space for it. But if a synchro monster in possession whose original level is 11 is destroyed by your opponent's card effect on the graveyard, banish, zombie, summon this card. If this card is special summoned, destroy a monster your opponent controls. That is not targeting, by the way. So, Yoko actually very good. If you have any level 11 synchro and she is properly summoned in your graveyard, you can summon her back and get a free non-targeting destruction. That's pretty good.
Yes.
Also, she's got, like I said, a decent stat line, 2,900.
It's pretty powerful.
Like I said, I think the extra deck monsters are much better than the main monsters because they are completely non-generic. So I'm sure you can make Sync 9s in Zombie Synchro anyway and make Sync 11s and just go apeshit. Like, there's... and they can even be generic. Like, if you've got a Star Eater and she's in your graveyard properly summoned, you can make that work. So, like, there's definitely some flexibility in the extra. It's the fact that, like, the main deck can't play even generic zombie synchro lines like Red Eye Zombie, Red Eye's Necrolord, Zombie Felgrand that they added later, any of the other, mainstay zombie synchro guys. You can't play Shiranui at all.
You can find the image I wanted to do, which is an edit of that Darth Maul meme. I'm not a furry, but it's with the Loft. So instead, I'll just settle for this meme image.
Alright, and now, if I've copied this correctly, our last synchro. It's the big boy, Gashada Kuro, the giant skeleton himself. You can definitely tell when this guy's blown up the line from him to Yasha, because he's got, like, the same weird skull markings. But yeah,
I prefer this form than the human form.
Oh yeah, no, he's a big scary skeleton, man. I appreciate this. He's busting out of the ground. You can't even see his legs if he's got them. He's got these spooky, scary skeleton hands. Nah, this is good.
He's that one Dark Souls 3 boss.
It's something...
Dark Lord Wolnir. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was trying to remember his fucking name, but yeah, the guy with the divine braces that keep him from falling into the abyss.
Yeah, you punch his bracelets and he falls down.
You curse him to, like, you curse him to basically a horrible existence.
So I can't remember if that boss fight is optional or not, but I believe you start out by picking up his skull or a cup made from his skull or something stupid.
It's a cup that spouts weird goop.
Abyss.
I believe it is technically, you have to do it to get the Earthel.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, it's a weird one. Anyway, Gasha Dekuro is a dark zombie synchro, level 11, 3,300 attack, 2,600 defense, completely generic, by the way, which is good, because 11 was a weird level.
I like that all his trinkets show up on here, like his his symbol he was
Skull,
carrying on his waist,
rosary,
and then like the thing on his staff is now on his shoulders.
Yeah, and he's got his rosary. You can't see if it's got the skull, but I assume it
It's
does.
on his neck, yeah. He's got his beads.
Does he have a bony mustache, or is that just like giant fangs?
No, he just has huge canines that go up to his nose slot because his skull is very weirdly shaped.
His skull is not a skull. It's basically like bone-like substance that bends and moves.
I mean, it is a skull, but yeah.
It's made of weird demon bone. You can bend.
He's got an oddly shaped skull. So, again, completely generic, one tuner, one or more non-tuners. You can control one Gasha Dekuro, each of these effects once per turn. If a Link monster is in your possession is destroyed to battle or opponent's card effect while this card's in your graveyard, banish another zombie, special summon this card. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, activate this effect. This turn, this face-up card is unaffected by other cards' effects. So once again, Gasha Dekuro, good. It's a good guy.
It's hard to pull it off.
Yeah. And I mean, like, honestly, he's harder to pull off in Mayakashi.
Damn it.
He's a level 11. There's absolutely ways to do this shit in Zombie Synchro.
Sorry, I just realized something because I've only been able to drag Axe to see this. I'm just getting Lost Skeleton of Cadavra. Just memes in my head staring at this guy.
Yeah,
that's like literally like 4 years. That was like 3 years ago, man.
Oh, so you don't remember it as well as I do. Then again, I've watched it like 15 times.
Yeah, you've watched it too many times, probably.
Too many times to count. Or to be seen.
Now I'm just thinking of a fucking line from... I've been watching a lot of clips of, like, old Part 1 and Part 2 Lupin the Third dubs. And there's like a 2-part joke that they buried in the dub where, like, at one point, one of the guys quips to Lupin, "You see Wizard of Oz too many times." And then in an entirely separate joke, he's like, "You can come out now. I've seen Wizard of Oz like 100 times." It's like a borderline gag dub because they made it in like the mid 2000s or early 2010s, but it's good. It's got some good actors in it. Anyway, we're gonna start talking about that Link axis because Gasha Dokuro does mention Link monsters. So yeah, this was printed during the Link era.
Yeah, how many links do they have? Like 3?
They have 3 links. I think only the first one. Only regular Kiona was included in Hidden Summoner, I believe.
It's her.
I would say no, Marth, because Yuki Onna is just a generic type of Japanese yokai. So I think they just have a boilerplate type of appearance. Young girl in a kimono who. Sometimes the idea is that the Yuki Onna is literally made of ice. Like, there are legends where, like, you'll embrace the Yuki Onna, right? And then when you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh my god, I almost died because this chick was literally made of ice.
Well,
Maybe this child gets heavier and heavier and heavier.
I feel like this should put me in timeout, but...
You get your tongue stuck to the pole. Chat can infer their own lines. Anyway, the link to the normal version of Yuki Onna, completely normal. It is kind of weird that I forgot that she was in Hidden Summoners, but yeah, they produced her Link version before they produced their main deck version. I guess that's probably why they went back to add Yuki Musume. But yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah, this was in Hidden Summoner, so this is core support is you get their Link too. And obviously, I knew that they had one of their links because of Gasha Dokuro's effect, but I was like, I don't remember which one. It's this one. And I don't think the link for it yet. We'll see in a second. But yeah, so, honestly, them starting with this smaller one is a little weird. So, Yuki Onna is a water zombie Link 2. She's got 1900 attack. She is completely not generic. She requires exactly 2 Mayakashi monsters. You can only control 1 Yuki Onna. While this card points to a synchro monster, your opponent's monsters can't target this card for attacks. If synchro monster possession is destroyed by a card effect with this card's on the field, target 1 face-up monster on the field. Its attack becomes its attack defense, I should say, become equal to half its current attack defense to the end of this turn. You can use this effect once per turn. So, Yuki Onna is clearly set up so that you can make her and then set up to go into multiple synchros, except you can only control one of each of your synchros. So it doesn't really work out. Obviously, the idea is very clearly to have Yuki Onna on the board and then have another synchro in the slot she points to, because obviously, as a Link 2, Yuki Onna is way worse than most of your synchro monsters. But Gasha Dokuro would trigger if she was popped, and then make himself unaffected, which is pretty baller. And also, obviously, if you have a synchro on board already, the idea is that your opponent would have to attack over or pop your synchro monsters before they pop her, and then you can have their attack. Problem: Yuki Onna herself is not protected from targeting by card effects or destruction. So if she's annoying, your opponent just removes her. And obviously, yes, that means you could summon a Gasha Dokuro from your graveyard, but if she's a problem, you already have a synchro on board, which is probably Gasha Dokuro, because he's big. It's one of those, shaped like itself type shit. So, let me see. Have they reprinted her? Yeah, they haven't reprinted this one.
Never mind. I think so.
They haven't reprinted
she's just a weirdly such a softer face than all the other ones, but I guess that's the bit of being she's not really malevolent, she's just kind of there.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's funny. We're gonna see it when I actually show you the card art, but for some reason, it seems like Yoko and Daki are friends, but Yuki Onna's trying to fight Squire. She's in there. It's weird.
She's probably because she doesn't have a human form.
Well, she does. It's the Yuki Musume.
It's one of those sad Japanese tales of because of where they come from and what they are, they have to fight.
Yeah. So, This is the Link 3 one, Yuki Onna, the Icicle Mayakashi. So this is actually one of their most recent cards. This is one of the 2 cards they added for Secret Shiny Box / Magnificent Mavens. So you can tell this is supposed to be a Band-Aid card. I mean, I think art-wise it's pretty. Obviously, there's a lot of background detail they've done here. But yeah, it's just they continue to, like, slightly detail up, slightly age up Yuki Onna's art style.
Tight.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to add.
So this is a Water Zombie Link 3 now. All of the bottom-facing arrows. By the way, I didn't mention regular Yuki Onna's arrows. They're the 2 bottom corners, because of course they are. She's got 2400 attack, which is, you know, I think in the medium spot for a Link 3. Hey, guess what? She's completely, you know, generic to zombie decks. She's just 2+ zombie monsters. This means you can even make her with a Link climb. It's like we realized that making our Link monster Mayakashis only was weird. You can only control 1 Yuki Onna, the Icicle Mayakashi. You can only use each of the effects once per turn. If this card is special summoned, target effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects. Quick effect, banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one of your zombie synchro monsters that's banished or in your graveyard. This card is great. The main problem is the actual Mayakashi deck is so rigid, there's no reason to run this well, I mean, there is reason to run this Yuki Onna, but it doesn't actually help the deck progress. This card's way better as a generic Link 3 for zombie decks, because she lets you get your synchros back once she's gone. Also, whenever she's special summoned, she is a Veiler. So, like, Yuki Onna Icicle Mayakashi? Great card. Good. Thumbs up.
Not a Band-Aid for Mayakashi, though.
I appreciate that she is so generic. She's arguably too generic. You literally just run her in zombie decks. There's no reason to run her in Mayakashi because they didn't do anything to make the Mayakashi main deck line any less rigid. Or not gonna be even their synchro line. But no, this is a good card. Not correct for the archetype. And it's funny because they did try to give her a, like I said, this super powered up form before. But yeah, this was in Dual Overload in 2020. About the time, I think, after the Shiranui Link 3 came out. This is Yuki Onna, the Absolute Zero Mayakashi.
Yeah, this is the one I see a lot.
Yeah, she's got the same kind of double-bladed staff that Skill Saga Supremacy has, the Shiranui Link. She's got a little more detail in her costume. She's got a fucking shit-eating smug grin for some reason. I guess she's happy with herself.
Is it okay? Hold on, sorry. Is this just me, or is that shoe slowly been getting more and more like taller as the?
No, I think she's been getting higher and higher shoes as she's been getting ranked up more.
She's just like, oh no, the Squire's getting taller than me. Fuck this.
So this is, like I said, Yuki Onna. She is the Link 4 Water Zombie Link. She has the 2 bottom corner arrows and the 2 left and right arrows. So there's a couple of different setups you can go. She has 2900 attack. A little low for a Link 4, but still serviceable. I mean, after all, Access Code Talker's like actual attack stat is below this. It's just that he usually modulates himself bigger. Much like the Icicle version, she is just generic again, 2+ zombie monsters. So there's lots of easy ways to set this up. There are quite a lot of really good zombie Link 2s, none of which are regular Yuki Onna, the Ice Mayakashi. Negate any activated effects of your opponent's banished monsters. If this monster is special summoned from the graveyard, or if a monster effect is activated in the graveyard during the damage step, target one of their face-up monster on the field, changes attack to 0, and negates effects. You can only use this effect of Yuki Onna up to twice per turn. So, again, Yuki Onna, good card. As a payoff for, like, zombie decks, a Link 4, she basically does, I think there is actually a drain for, like, your opponent's banished zone, but basically does, like, a soul drain or a skill drain for their banished zone, right? Like, your opponent can't, or your opponent can activate monster effects while they're banished, but they're negated. So, that's pretty good. Absolutely shuckles Shiranui, by the way, funnily enough.
Yep.
And she zeroes out and negates face-up monsters both on her special summon, or whether when a monster special summon the graveyard, or when you activate a graveyard effect. It's great. It's a great effect. You get to do this twice per turn. She's a good card. Again, it's not actually easy to make this in Mayakashi. You would have to basically do Daki and Link climb into her, which you couldn't do until they released the Link 3. So, like, this card came out in 2020. The Link 3 we talked about, you know, Icicle, she was printed in late 2022. So, like, arguably, Absolute Zero Yuki Onna was a bad card for in my Akashi for, like, 2 years because there was no way to properly Link climb to her unless you, like, got several extra special summons. So, you know, it's cool. I think this is a good payoff. The problem is that, like we said, the monsters don't necessarily interact with each other. The Link cards seem like almost completely divorced from the Synchro cards, other than Gashadokuro can float out off of one of your Links. And it's just really odd. Their Links are usually good, but the newer ones are obviously generic, and thus there's no reason to run them in a Mayakashi deck. Just add them to your zombie deck. So we're going to talk about spell traps in a second, but I must excuse myself for a mere moment once again. So I will be right back.
Some water.
Yeah, something like that.
He needs some milk. Nope, just you and me again, Axe.
Yeah.
I'll actually deafen myself for the guys, because, like, we're not going to add any new cards. So anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back.
Like, why am I supposed to give in to your demands all the time? Anyway.
I think the best answer you can probably give is that's not my sense of humor.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that
I
is
can't-
because
I
stick in
can't
the
live-
mud.
Or I can't live up to your expectations. I
Oh,
know
that's
what
just-
you want me to say, but I can't. I can't bring myself to do it.
Well, that's just you getting yelled at for being that I'm not fun, but it's like, I'm tired of those demands all the goddamn time, but whatever.
Oh no, we're on different.
Yes, I'm back. Hello.
I asked Axe a very stupid question.
I then
So
basically
that's why
put up a
I love it.
complaint, I'd be like, I bring up CDMX HR if that existed.
Well,
Studio
I am
Omega
glad we
HR,
were-
like most HR, would work for Studio Omega, not for you.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
probably true. But I am glad then that we were deafened to mutants, so I don't have to deal with that. Anyway, we're gonna talk about spell traps. This was our card for the cover, basically the thumbnail, Mayakashi Metamorphosis.
Oh god, that's a name.
Mayakashi Metamorphosis.
It's a cool look.
Yeah, it shows them becoming their monster forms. Yay.
Oh, it's
Activate
them
those
shedding
seals,
their
yeah.
human forms.
Yes. They're switching it up.
Oh yeah, the transformation is instigated by the seal. Yeah.
Mayakashi Henjo.
My skin goes from brown to just no skin.
Oburagashi, he looks more like he's got an ogre head than actually like thing, but I guess it's like it's mid transformation.
Yeah,
so.
he's transforming.
Donkey just puts the mask on.
Kind of, yeah. I
She
mean, it
takes the
becomes
mask off.
flesh. But, so this is a normal trap. It says, discard a card, target one of your Mayakashi monsters is banished from your graveyard, special summon it. Your opponent can't target it with card effects this turn. You can't special summon from your extra deck except Mayakashi monsters. You can only activate once per turn. This card is in Hidden Summoners, and it is a decent recovery tool, because it lets you get your guys back, even if you are banished. You know, like you said, we talked about the risk of DD Crow or Called By. But usually, if you've been hit with one of those interruptions, you're already probably pretty fucked. But it's a decent attempt at a recovery tool, so I would say to run it anyway. But it's still something you do need to, you know, be careful of, because it's only a band-aid. It only helps you, you know, recover from destruction. Speaking of just, you know, letting them know about, you know, just showing them doing stuff. This is a card that came out in Dual Overlord. Say that 5 times fast, because Yu-Gi-Oh's got a lot of similar named set. This is Mayakashi Mayhem. So this is a card that came out at the same time as Ab-Zero, and you can see the boys causing trouble.
What the fuck is that thing?
I don't know, there's a little Gaki or something, a little gremlin goblin down there. There's also a tortoise that's also a weasel. A weasel tortoise. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, they're wrecking the neighborhood.
Oh, I didn't even see Tsuchigumo guy back there.
Yeah, no, Tsuchigumo's back there. He's spitting hot web.
I just thought he was part of Skeleton Man's armor.
It is a little hard to tell. Yeah, this card's very busy. They've packed 4 Mayakashi synchros into this.
It's also like there's also like Gugami.
Yeah, I said there's a Gaki or something down there.
Oh, there's also another weird dog demon next to the hand.
There's also a bull
skeleton
lizard.
hand.
Yeah, there's a few things. Oh yeah, there he is. There's the extra guy. So yeah,
that's
they're literally causing trouble in your neighborhood.
I think
So my mom got
they're
scared.
tearing down your neighborhood and putting it in fire.
So
This
this is
Squires
a
moving to
continuous
Bel
trap
Air.
card that says, if a zombie synchro monster is special summoned except from the extra deck, even during the damage step, fuck you, damage step, you can apply one of the following effects. You can apply the same effect of Mayakashi Mayhem for the rest of this turn. Draw a card, send a Mayakashi spell trap from your deck, except Mayhem, send in 1 monster with the lowest attack your opponent controls to the graveyard, your choice if tied, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. You can activate the effect of Mayhem once per chain. So Mayhem's a good card. The problem is that once again, it's a card that relies on your opponent doing something. Basically, your opponent has to walk into the fact that your Mayakashis all float down, right? So it's not the greatest card in the world, but it still, I think, is a decent attempt to give them a little extra flexibility, because basically anytime a zombie synchro monster is special summoned back from your graveyard, you can make that work. And while it obviously works in Mayakashi, it can also work in other zombie synchro strategies. Because, you know, it has non-Mayakashi related effects. You know, you can use it to draw a card. You can use it to send just send a monster, the lowest attack monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. Like, there's some stuff here.
You can do some dumb nonsense. I just can't get over just Skeleton Man going, blah.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. I'm just gonna call him Skeleton Man.
Gasha Dakuro. This card is Mayakashi Return. So, it's Daki. She's returning. Funnily enough, this is the exact same location as Shiranui-style Samsara, which is where Sun Saga, like, walks, you know, out through the gates of this shrine. Obviously, you can see the shrine has seen better days. So, yeah.
I wonder if there's implied backstory between Daki and Sun Saga.
Maybe. So, yeah, Mayakashi Return is a normal spell card. It says, take a Mayakashi card from your deck, except Return, add it to your hand, and send it to the graveyard. You can only activate one return per turn. This card is...
One return per turn.
Yes. This card was in Summoners and was reprinted in Mavens. This is an amazing, you know, normal spell card. It's Rhoda for your entire archetype, or Foolish Burial. So,
Yeah.
it's great.
It's just both.
Yeah. It is a hopped, but, you know, you have a limited number of Spelltrap searchers, so that's not usually a huge problem. And it's just a really good card.
What's that? You didn't draw Daki? Well,
Yeah, usually.
there you go.
Daki just coming out of the, I guess, foreclosed temple.
Now, interesting enough, that temple's going to come back in our next card, Mayakashi Winter. As you can see, Yuki Onna has frozen the temple. By the way, this card, like, I like that they made it a little less extra, but they really undersold its name in English. This card's name in Japanese is Mayakashi Kaigo, which is translated as Mayakashi Aeon of Destruction.
She's going on a power bender. She got stronger and she's going on a bender. Okay.
Yeah, she's fucking up the temple.
In a way, you could say she's literally a walking disaster. When she shows up, things just get frozen.
Which does fit the theming of the name, literally. Mayakashi means evil spirit calamity.
And also Absolute Zero.
She is also, yeah,
Is
at
that-
zero.
Actually, yeah.
No,
I
her
think
name
this
in
might be her
Japanese
first
is-
form because she doesn't have. the
Yeah,
giant
this is
black
just normal
boots.
Mayakashi. Also, her name in the Absolute Zero's name in Japanese is, like, Hyure, Zero Ice, which I'm sure is probably, like, a reference to Absolute Zero, but still. Anyway, this is a continuous spell card. Monsters your opponent control loses 100 attack and defense for each Mayakashi with a different name in your graveyard. You can only use each of the effects of Winter once per turn, only once that turn. Send this card and one Mayakashi monster you control to the graveyard. Draw a card. Banish this card and zombie monster from your graveyard. Target a Mayakashi in your graveyard. Special summon it. So I assume that Konami just couldn't figure out a way to have a continuous spell card go in the graveyard, so they did the send to draw a card effect. Obviously, like I said, searching is kind of weird in this deck, so like more draw power isn't bad, but I think what was it? Mayakashi Mayhem does that a lot better. This is just an excuse to send it to the graveyard so you can put it in the graveyard so you can banish a zombie and then special summon a Mayakashi back. Hopefully a synchro monster.
Yeah.
Or if you do the line once or twice, you typically have a thing that your enemies do like 100.
Well, remember,
with
every
all the
time you
decimals.
resummon, you have to banish. So,
Right.
Monsters has had the dumbest thought.
Yeah.
Which is just Yuki Onna just spouting fucking Mr. Freeze one-liners.
what killed the
We-
dinosaurs?
Maybe Japanese style
The Ice
puns, but yeah,
Age.
very much so. Yeah.
And
They love the word puns.
also, for literally no earthly reason, this card has a continuous attack modulation effect, which arguably isn't that great in Mayakashi. I mean, it can
I think
be,
it's meant to represent how many dead spirits are powering her, essentially.
but
I
like,
guess.
like
It could also
Gashadokuro
be-
is like, let's see, how many synchros are there before that one? It's 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then presumably your tuner. So you've got like minus 500 if you do the line once.
I guess
Plus
it
maybe,
helps
I guess,
keep
a
your-
starter, so like minus 600? He's a big guy, so like adds up, but it's still weird, you know?
If you special summon the weenies, I guess it helps keep them alive.
Yeah, no. Like, but remember, as you're special summoning back your weenies, you you'd be losing attack power. It's, like I said, it's not the worst. 600 attack down when you've got Gashadokuro on board. That guy's 3,300. You know, that's significant, right? But still, it's just such a weird low number. And also, again, it is a continuous spell card. It's weird. And I think that is all the normal Mayakashi spell traps. Yeah, so I think the only ones that are left are the, specifically the, Ghost Meets Girl sub-theme.
Let's go. We need to do a dumb card like a Ghost Winter Cherries, whatever the fuck those are. But it's just Squire and Could she meet Daki or you?
Yeah, it's Daki. I'm gonna pull that one up right here. It's Daki.
They should just have that be a card. Just fuck it.
Again, I feel like it's a thing of the two. It's like the Shiranui Order fights. Oh yeah, it's Daki before she became her full thing.
Yeah,
it's back when
I mean, it's you can tell by the lighting. This is daytime.
Right. Yeah. Because right, the other card is basically just. I guess it's Daki. I guess the night becoming night and Daki walking out of the temple.
Yeah, she has to take off the mask and be who she truly is. A fox spirit.
I guess
you can totally picture her doing a dumb thing like an anime thing as she's walking away. It's time to stop playing pretend or house.
Yeah. And we did look at this one already because this is Ghost Meets Girl, a Shiranui story. This is much more of a Shiranui card than a Mayakashi card, but I felt it was important to pull the card art up because Log was literally asking, which one did she meet again?
A dumb thing to say.
I thought it was Yuki Onna for the longest time.
I honestly feel like, as a weird thing, I feel like they could honestly make like an hour to like an hour and a half film just out of all of the Shiranui Mayakashi cards.
A lot of things they could do like that, yeah.
A lot, because like some archetypes are short, but like you could make it in like a single film. I feel like this would work. It's just a kind of like a weird classical one, which is a bunch of references.
But yeah, so this is a quick play spell card that says if your opponent controls a monster, you can discard a zombie monster, special summon a Shiranui monster with a different name from your deck or graveyard, but you can't special accept zombies for the rest of this turn. You can only activate one Shiranui story per turn. So that's a good card in Shiranui. You know, it's a great going second tool, and it's fairly generic. You could make it work in Mayakashi, but again, Mayakashi, you know, is locked to Mayakashi usually, so there's no point in summoning out Shiranuis like that. So, make sure we're grabbing all of our appropriate card arts. Yeah, so our next card
How many
is...
cards left, Omega? Because Lucky's asking if we're wrapping up.
There's like 3 left. We've only been going for an hour and a half. This is a short episode of Fail Portrayal.
Lucky's being...
Yes, Loth literally just said that. You idiot, you fool.
Fool of a took.
That's where he's just being impatient.
Yes, it's true.
That's all I want to say. I was just like, I couldn't finish the sentence.
All right, so our first set, though, is, because this is the flip card to this, this card's not actually in either archetype, but is very obviously about this. This is Faithful Hour. It, you know, shows we came back in the moonlight. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay, Yuki literally just took her spear.
No, I think she has her own spear.
Like the same design, though.
I mean, they look similar, but remember, I told you, Skill Saga Supremacy is her channeling the power. This has a much better name in Japanese, because it would translate as, it's Oma no Toki, which would translate as the Witching Hour. Would have been way cooler. Anyway, Fateful Hour. This is a normal trap that says, target a monster that can't be normal summoned or set in either graveyard, special summon it. I do believe that extends to extra deck monsters, like those intrinsically can't be normal summoned or set, I think. But yeah, it's just a weird tech card that I don't know a lot of decks would use it, but like I said, story-wise it is important because it sets up our next
story-wise it is important. I mean, I haven't seen much of it, but I'm enjoying this story about like how they have to like each other. It isn't some dumb contrived thing. It is a no. We have to fight each other. It's just the nature.
And then you get to see the fight, kind of going on. At least I think this is the next
What are you
step.
doing over there being so extra?
Well, it is a little hard to tell. Let me actually see if I can find out which order these are supposed to be in from the Master Guide. Because there's two that are kind of the wambo cambo.
Look at the spear there. It's all demonic.
So I think it is.
Oh, is Yuki Ono just being like,
Well,
oh,
remember
this weird.
again. It's like Axe doesn't listen to me when I say these things. Skillful Shiranui Saga is using the yokai magic.
That was also me who said that, by the way.
No, he said the spear looks demonic. Yes, it's because she uses their energy too. I said that multiple times.
It's okay. I think it's been a different order, though.
I'm waiting to see the red mic next to Axe's name.
Okay, that's really weird. So so that was the Magnificent Mavens one. So I guess technically, do they meant this one to be first? When was this printed? This is Ignition Assaults. So yeah, I think technically, I feel like and of course it's fucking small.
Oh, it's for ants.
There we go. No, it's just how Wikia type things work is silly. If you click on an image, you get the small image, and then it loads the larger image. You, the viewer, don't notice anything in the web page. When you right-click copy, it's different. I will brook no argument. This is factually correct because I'm the one who does this visual part. So I think it is actually supposed to be in this order because it's supposed to be Mayakashi Manuscript, then Master Mayakashi Shiranui Saga. Because I guess in Shiranui style Success is when she does the combo into Supremacy, Skill Saga Supremacy. So, like, Yuki Onna shows up while they're having a fight and, like, freezes her spear. And then in Masterful, she's just like, nah, fuck you, and pulls out the short blade while Yoko is kind of like, hey, Yuki Onna, what the fuck are you doing? And then Yuki Onna picks up the spear to become Ab-Zero. And we
That's what I
have
was thinking,
no
yeah.
further
Also,
information, I guess.
In between cards, she gains tights.
Yeah, kind of something like that. Yeah, so let's see. The story narrated is Squire, touched by yokai magic from her encounter with Yoko, fuses the power with her sword, using Success formation to become Skill Saga Supremacy. Yuki Onna makes her move during the fierce battle between Yoko and Skill Saga Supremacy. She secretly approaches the heir of the main Shiranui-style house, steals her power. Now Yuki Onna, having gained the power of Skill Saga Supremacy, has become Absolute Zero with the power of Skill Saga Supremacy and Mayakashi. Yuki Onna starts to make the world of Eternal Night a reality. Cliffhanger.
Okay, so the current end is just Ab-Zero right now.
Yeah, Ab-Zero grabs the spear. Though, like I said, this Masterful Skill Shiranui Skill whatever. The card's name is fucking ridiculous, and I will no longer bother to say all of it. That kind of implies that Yoko is, like, asking, Yuki Onna what the fuck she thinks she's doing with her life. So the first card is Amayakashi's Manuscript. That's the one where Ab-Zero freezes the spear. That is a quick play spell card. It says, during the main phase, target a zombie synchro monster you control. Special summon one of your zombie monsters with the same attribute that is banished in your graveyard, but banish it during the end phase. You can't special summon for the rest of this turn except zombie monsters. You can activate only one Mayakashi Manuscript per turn. Obviously, once again, this card didn't really do anything. It's cute, but it's completely generic. It just lets you phase through, like I said, zombie synchro monsters. Obviously, it works in Mayakashi because you have the different attributes to, like, bring out their small forms. But it's, not the best. The main thing is quick play and your there's that Mayhem lets you set a spell trap from that's Mayakashi, so it works. But also, honestly, once again, this card probably works way better in Shiranui because all those guys are fire.
Yes.
I have, like, two things to say.
Mhm.
One is, like, I really hate the trope of just you can randomly steal everyone's power. You can just randomly steal a person's all of their powers on a random whim.
I mean, she stole the sword. It's kind of Shiranui thing, is the swords with the ghosts,
Oh, yeah, because the entire thing is their ancestor was super magical and the only one who did anything good.
she's channeling the power into the spear, and then Yuki Onna freezes the spear and like picks it up. Because it does, I do want to say part of it might be Squire's fault because it looks like in the second art that she was just like, okay, fuck you, I guess, and throws away her spear to like, again, fight Yoko with just
And then
like
Yuki Onna
the
siphons all the
dagger,
power out of it.
and
yeah.
then Yuki Onna just picks it up.
Your spear, my spear.
If
Yeah.
anything, it's like a weird mix of I know there's like no direct interpretation, but it feels like a thing of Yuki Onna wanted to usurp Daki, or wanted to just be like, no, you're my friend. You never talk to me ever.
The Master Saga Master like guides just seem to imply that, you know, Yoko and Squire have this like internal conflict, and I think Yuki Onna's just concerned that Yoko's not going to enact the Eternal Night plan, so she's just like, I'll do it myself. Eternal Night.
Yeah. Fuck it, I'll do it myself.
So the next card, Ghost Meets Girl, a masterful Mayakashi Shiranui saga, double alliteration.
Oh my god. Just,
In Japanese, by the way, that is Oka Yorietan, Mayakashi Shiranugi the Gatari. The Ballad of Meeting and the Splendid Spectral Grace on Mayakashi
it's
Shiranui
still very
story.
long.
It's all long and terrible.
It's a
anyway,
light novel title.
It's like it's like the name of a kabuki play.
Again, this card is more Shiranui focused, but still like has cards that apply, and so we're gonna mention it. But this says tribute a Mayakashi or Shiranui Synchro or Link monster. Neither player can special summon monsters from their hand, deck, or extra deck for the rest of this turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your opponents, target one of your banished zombie monsters, return it to the graveyard. You can only use one effect per turn, only once that turn. This is, so why don't we play Floodgates?
So the weird thing about this is like, so sometimes in Yu-Gi-Oh, they have effects that are resonant of what they want to do in the story, and then sometimes they do an effect, and then they make the story resonant with the effect they're doing. This feels like a thing of, they're doing a bit, if it's a cliffhanger, both characters that we care about's powers have been stopped by and being asserted by something that's stopping them from doing only one thing.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then it's also a floodgate because, of course.
Well, yeah, it's a flood. I mean, it does make logical sense, like with the thing you're talking about. That's why it's double-sided, because it says neither player. But it is kind of weird. I gotta be honest, I don't know what the fuck the point of this is, other than it lets you do your Synchro Link climb, and then in your opponent's, draw phase or standby phase, you're just like, and now you are locked out of all forms of special summoning. Fuck you, Vanity's Emptiness. Because it tributes, right? It doesn't destroy, so you can't do your Mayakashi plays. Because you can't special summon anyway, so it's just such a weird, absolute lingering floodgate that is such a motherfucker of a card. And it hasn't really done anything. Like, as MBT pointed out when talking about, like, I think this was the subject of a Twitter thread, this card reads insane. It is just Vanity's Emptiness for a turn. Actually, no, you can special summon from the graveyard. Okay, so you could do your Mayakashi lines, except you can't because this card doesn't trigger them. So it does nothing. It doesn't do anything. It just locks your opponent out of playing for a turn for no reason. And by the way, Mayakashi Mayhem means that you can set this card from your deck.
It basically just means you're throwing your hands up and going, base! Can't touch me!
Yeah, I think the Shiranui card that like banishes to make battle damage 0 is much more effective than that.
Honestly, I'd rather more have a card that just stops hand traps.
Yeah, like a card that...
I'd rather stop it from being shifted.
Yeah, it would be much better if there was a Mayakashi card that was like, while you can... Like, my Mayakashis don't have a field spell, by the way. That just said, like, while you control while a Mayakashi tuner is in your graveyard, your opponent cannot activate, monster effects from the hand. You couldn't get around Imperm because that doesn't... I mean, I guess you could specifically get around Imperm by saying they can't activate trap card effects in their hand, but that's, like, the world's most targeted
I think
fuck
it's
you.
also, on your turn, your opponent cannot interact with things involving your graveyard.
Also, to be fair, they actually have a perfect setup for a field spell. It's just a frozen Shiranui shrine.
Yeah.
They had two versions, actually. They had one that'd be the Mayakashi and Shiranui
It
version.
was one too early to close my music, but that's
Well, I
fine.
guess one would be one during the day, one during the
wrapping
night. Yeah.
Ugh. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. This has hopefully caught you up on the Mayakashi and Shiranui story for now until they actually continue the story, maybe sometime.
So probably like
if
2-3
they
more
ever
years
actually
at
finish it.
earliest.
I mean, the support was relatively recently, so maybe we'll see it again.
I'll be right back.
It was like one
No, he's
card
gonna be right
recently,
back.
so it's like one card, or it was like two.
It was like a twofer in Magnificent Mavens.
So these two cards, basically. So
Yeah.
like the next arc.
I mean,
I
not
guess
these two cards literally. It was Ab-Zero and the Mayakashi whatever was
on the
in,
right,
like,
okay.
2020. That came out with Ab-Zero actually, same set. I think.
Oh, that makes sense actually, because it's showing you how Ab-Zero exists.
And then they made the Link 3 and stuff. There are probably some cards on YG Organization we could talk about, but we don't need to, really. Other than I'm jealous
I
because
think
fucking
I would say
Rush
in like
Duel
hindsight.
is getting more Red Eye support.
Oh, nice. Red Eyes might be a good deck.
I mean,
Red Eyes
I think
actually a good
Red
deck.
Eyes
I think
is already actually a good
it's
deck
a
in
good deck
Rush
in
Duel.
Rush Duels.
Funnily enough.
I
Maybe
wanna say one
when
thing.
they bring those cards into the Rush Duel world and Duel Links, I'll get in there.
I did want to say, I find it interesting that like Squire is meant to be like the strongest of the Shiranui, even though I think wasn't she like kind of one of the weakest relatively to all the others? That are, like, actively
No,
in
she
the
was
family?
second wave, so I think she's good. No, I mean the story calls her the inheritor of the style, so.
Okay, because I always thought like the Grandmaster and then like the Samurai were better than her, but I guess it's
Well,
more of, like, when she
Grandmaster
got
is
skill
old,
set.
so he's gonna fucking die.
I guess he passed on her. But it's like, I guess
Samurai
that's really
is. Actually, I think Samurai
Could be
is
better
like,
than
not.
Squire.
Samurai's not actually a better card than Squire. Like he has more attack points, but that's because he's a samurai. He's more of a beater up man. But no, like Squire's always been a good
Zach's
card in
holding up
archetype.
the end of the episode again.
Not literally. Though I will say that's Shiranui stuff, so that's not really relevant right now.
Fair enough.
Do pay attention to the new news though. They announced a lot of new Aroma cards out of nowhere. Fucking sick. I love them. I'll play that deck in Master Duel in 2 years.
I guess, yeah, because if we're pressed for time, I was curious if we'd go through them, but probably not.
No, we won't go through them. People can look them up. And then also, Raid Raptors is getting support, which includes the craziest rank up magic ever. What if we just turned Xyz monsters into synchros, where you pick 2 Xyz monsters and special summon from your extra deck a Raid Raptor Xyz whose ranks equals those 2 monsters' ranks totaled, and attach them as materials.
Oh.
So yeah, well, on the one hand, maybe this means they can finally ban that one rank up magic that people just used to go into Kali Yuga, which sucks ass and should never have existed because it's just
Is
any
it Rank
Dark
Up Magic
Xyz.
launch?
Yeah, that card sucks. We hate him. But also, yeah, you're not gonna see the last of Raid Raptor shenanigans. But that's kind of, I think, where we do want to put it up because we have been going for almost 2 hours. So next week, Marth actually dug up for us. He found a pack in one of the old Yu-Gi-Oh! Mobile games called their Halloween pack. So I think the archetypes we didn't do in that were, what was it? I think it was either Gimmick Puppet, which is already on our poll, or Madolce, actually, because treats and tricks. And
I think we
tricks.
should just do Gimmick Puppet and call it a day.
No, I'm not going to cheat Dallas out of it. So to celebrate the Halloween time, we'll probably do Madolce. Because Konami has told me that's a Halloween archetype. They said this to me.
I mean, it's
in
like
person.
it's like the fun side of
Axe.
Halloween.
We don't need to comment on everything I say.
Well, you thought it was weird.
No.
Mute him. Do it.
I just said I was making a joke that Konami personally told me that Madolce is a Halloween archetype. So we'll do that one next week, and then we'll do Fire Kings the first week in November because that is not our poll winner, but the poll torture I subject you to because I don't know. I can't trust you guys to fucking democracy responsibly. So anyway, that's where we are. So thank you everybody for tuning in. If you didn't catch it already, please go back and watch this week's Monday stream. We have started playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I also hope to see you back tomorrow on Wednesday for our first official Final Fantasy XIV stream of Shadowbringers. The stream will probably be called One Brings Shadow. Anyway, that's everything from me. Good night, everybody. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all for tuning in. I've seen quite a few of you over the time. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah, I hope you have a lovely night, everyone.